Hello everybody, it is just about 1 o'clock and we are here at Springfield Farm in the lambing shed. This is our nursery and it is all pretty quiet at the moment. Hopefully you can hear us. We're just going to wait whilst people get a minute to join. Oh, there's a sheep's bum, which we don't really want. However, we'll come back because somebody's having their lunch. Hi, Vicky. See you're watching. It's all very quiet at the moment. However, we will be taking you around the farm and showing you some sights. So hello, everybody. I'm Anna, and welcome along to Springfield Farm. We're new to this whole technology stuff, so hopefully it'll all work. And thank you, Vicky, for the Hot Farmers chat. Or is that your husband you're waiting to see? Maybe, I'm not quite sure. Anyway, welcome. You're on the Go Rural Scotland Facebook page, live from Springfield. And for those of you who don't know what Go Rural Scotland is, it's a community of farmers and crofters across Scotland who have opened their doors to the public, whether that be a farm shop or a walking tour with alpacas or accommodation. They are welcoming the public onto their farms. So you're at Springfield Farm today, which is just half an hour away from the centre of Edinburgh. And we're going to show you around what Springfield is all about today. We moved to Springfield Farm just over 10 years ago. And when we bought the farm, we had no livestock, no sheep, nothing really. So to get us started, we went and fixed somebody's road for them. And instead of being paid, we were given 15 sheep, which we started lambing, and we have grown up to the 200 commercial sheep and our pedigree Suffolk sheep that we have at the moment. So we're going to get started, and I'm going to just switch the camera around to husband Gavin, who's going to start talking to you about the sheep today. Just bear with me.
Hi folks, welcome along here at Springfield. I'll give you a wee tour and we'll show you down some of the lambing pens. We're just started lambing. We started on the 3rd of April, so our tups went out at the beginning of November. So as most folk have been telling you, the gestation for the lambs is about 5 months. We've got a variation of breeds in the pen, so which Anne will be able to show you. So that one she's looking at just now is a mule. So we've got a few of the mules, maybe about 60 or 70, and we cross them with a Suffolk, and it gives us these little black lambs. This one's got triplets. There's always, and sometimes always, a little one. She's a little bit canny. There's always a little one in amongst the crew, because two other boys and girls stole all the goodness. So at some point, this little fella will be taken off from mummy, and we'll turn him onto another, and we'll find a wee home for him, somebody else to look after him for the rest of his days. So like everybody else, we've got marks on the sheep, and the one you just looked at, she's got an orange mark in the middle of her back, and that basically tells us that she's due to have triplets. The one in the pen next to it, which Anna's going to show you just now, she was marked as a single, so she's got a green dot. So we've actually managed to take a triplet from another ewe, the one at the back there, and we've managed to twin her on. So she's now going to go out to the field with two. So we've got roughly about 200 commercial ewes, and we've got about 30 pedigree Suffolks. But there is some Suffolks in here, which we'll show you in a minute. We've got about 30 pedigree Suffolk ewes, and they're used primarily to breed purebred animals, and we sell them between breeders. So the commercials we use are about 200, and the pedigrees we breed pedigree to pedigree. So they're sold on to other breeders throughout the UK, both females and tups. We've got most of these other ones you see here that Anna's going to show you are crosses. So that'll be a Suffolk cross Texel. Another one down here, if we keep going. There's a Texel cross at the end. She's got a big single. These were only born yesterday. Now our singles can be quite big. And this little fella was born last night. And they can be quite heavy, so we've got to watch what we feed them. So these mummies are all split into areas in the field and in the shed prior to lambing, so that they don't get too much feed and the lambs don't get too big. So the singles are kept on their own, and they'll get everything in a mineral lick tub and haylage, and that's all they'll get, just to make sure lambs don't get too big. Whereas the twins, they're basically lambing in about, they're being fed about £2 a day, about a fortnight prior to lambing, just to make sure that they've got enough to keep the two lambs going. And likewise, our triplets are fed separate again, and they get about £3 a day. So if Anna moves forward, she'll show you ahead of you is the nursery. This is where we take all the lambs out of the pens when they're all ready and marked, and they're put into the nursery, and they'll be in here for probably about 2 or 3 days, just to make sure everybody's okay, make sure the lambs are up and at them, and there's plenty milk in their bellies before they go out to the wild world outside, which at the moment the weather's been quite good, so we'll hopefully get these guys out the next 2 or 3 days. You can see they've all got a bit of a spring in their step, and they're all starting to fill up a bit. So most of these lammies, try if we can, we get everything out with 2 where possible. And as I said earlier, if the lambs are too big, the singles, they'll just go out as one. There's a single over there. You can see the difference in size. They're quite big lambs. So you'll see, as other people have talked about at the beginning of the week, the colours in their bums. Our usual ran out with the tups for their first return, and they had an orange marker. We're fortunate that we had very few, and Fraser will probably correct me or wrong, but maybe only had about half a dozen.
I think it was 6 or 8, that was it.
Yeah, that came back.
Everything was first done.
Fraser and Beth particularly, is the backbone of the lambing shed just now. Beth is here at 7 in the morning and leaves at 7 at night. Everything pristine and perfect. Is that right, Beth? She does a great job. And then we have Jess, who comes at night and takes over. Fraser's here working most of the day during the week, helping us at the farm, doing his farm duties and a bit of sports masters. We'll show you the pen with the singles in it. So these are the girls that are just getting the mineral tub, as we talked about earlier. That little tub that's got all the minerals and goodies that keep all these ladies healthy, making sure they've got everything they need to look after their single lamb they're carrying just now. And then in the far pen, we've got all the triplets. Now in amongst here, you'll see a variety of faces and colours. You slowly start to identify them. The mules have got the speckled faces, brown and white, slightly longer noses, and then the Texels are more white in the face. And then we've got the Suffolks. Now you'll probably be able to pick out, if Anna's zooms in, you'll probably be able to pick out the odd pure Suffolk in here. So we had a wee issue with one of our tups. Didn't find out till a later stage, so these ewes are a little bit later than they should be, because in a wee while we'll show you the ones that lambed in January. Started on the 8th of January, and the first lot, and they're outside, so they're getting on for about 8 weeks old now. So everybody's pretty calm and chilled out, as you can see. Anna pans around, looks down the pens. The shed's a pretty relaxed place at the moment, which is good to see. Everybody's obviously got full bellies. Right, we'll take you through the shed. The twins, this is the big space for the twins at the moment. They're outside, so we'll go and see them. And en route, we'll go and see the bulls and the Simmental breed that we have here.
So yeah, we're just heading outside and take you around some of the other bits of the farm. If anybody's got any questions as we go, please put them in the comment section, or indeed give us a shout, put in your name and tell us where you're from, and we can give you a shout out as we go. So we're just going to walk around and take you around to see the bulls. These are our Simmental bulls.
We've had the Simmentals here since 2014. That was when we bought our first 2 cows, and since then we've developed, and we're now up to about 35 cows now. And this guy you see here just now, this is a proud daddy. This is a proud daddy of our calves that you'll see in a minute or two. This is Isle of Ale Jabba. There's a very proud boy. So Jabba's been in most of the winter with the cows, so he just got taken out about a week ago. So this is him now into his own little pen, where he gets to chill out, gets treated like a king, fed haylage and feed every day. And he's a man of his own freedom now. So he'll be in here till about June, before he goes back out to meet the cows for next spring's calves. So the cows and calves are usually about 9 months gestation period. So our calves aren't quite about to hit the ground. We're the 25th of April for the next calves that are coming. But this guy, just to give you people out there an idea of size and scale, this guy at the moment is probably weighing in about 1,100 kilos, so that's 1.1 tons. And when he's fully fleshed up, he'll be round about 1,300, so 1.3 tons. So at the moment he's just in his working clothes, just being looked after enough to keep him happy and not put too much weight on, because as you can see by the size of him, you don't want him to be too heavy when he's going out to the cows. But he's a nice big canny lad. Right, we'll go and see his offspring.
Who are just a gang of boys, really.
So these are 5 bull calves that were born in April last year. Now the Simmentals, they all have names, and they're named, and every year the letter changes. So this last year, these were to start with an N. So we've got Niagara, we've got Nova, and these boys were all born in April. Just to give you an idea, from when they were born, these animals can average around about 1.6 kilos a day, or even up to 2, depending on the individual animal. But these guys will probably put it on somewhere around about between 12 and 15 kilos a week in weight. So they get big pretty quick. But they're pretty canny, really placid, really placid bunch of boys. They're easy to work with. That's one good thing about the Simmental breed. You can't be sure that having nice animals to work around in the farm industry, know that you're safe when you're working with them. And these guys are really quite canny. Most of these boys were, or 2 in fact, 3 of these boys were shown last year, and we did really well. We're grateful to have won a few shows with these guys and junior calf shows throughout the country. This guy specifically did extremely well, Mr. Niagara. Want to say hello to people at home? So that's a bunch of the boys. We'll take you around now on the way around the farm, and I'll take the camera back on.
You want to shut that gate? Okay, so that was some of the boys. We're just going to take a walk around here to some of the sheep that are in the outdoor paddock. We like to try and keep them outside as much as possible. And actually this section of the farm, I'll try and turn it around. So this section of the farm, when we moved here in 2010, there was really only this shed. That was it. There was nothing else. So when we moved here with our 15 sheep from sorting somebody's road, we also had to start generating some income. So what we did was we opened up a livery yard. So we converted that shed that I just showed you into some stables, and we built a riding arena for people to ride in. I'll quickly show you. Also doubles up as a area for Gavin to train the bulls when they're walking. As long as the horses and the bulls are not in at the same time, then we're on a winner. And around here, we just want to show you some of the views as well. We're really spoiled where we live. We are at the end of a 1 mile road, and although we're half an hour from Edinburgh city centre, we have spectacular views of the Pentland Hills, which are really unspoiled. So let me just turn the camera around so you can see that. So the Pentland Hills are a national park, and they attract many visitors who want to walk up there, ramble up there. The hills are of all different heights and challenges, and it's a wonderful place to actually take in some scenery. And for us, we get to see them every day, and they change a lot. And that's one of the reasons why we have decided to open the holiday pods this summer. We are going to have 4 holiday pods this summer, which will be able to sleep up to 6 people, and they'll have their own hot tubs and barbecue areas, and they'll be able to come and enjoy the farm and get to meet some of the animals whilst they're here too. So we're very excited about that project. It's all under construction at the moment, and as ever, construction sites are an interesting challenge to have sometimes, but it's all going fine, and they'll be open by the end of June, and our website is live with a booking system. So I'm just going to turn the camera around now so you can see the rest of the sheep. Here we go.
So this is the twins that we usually put them outside during the day, just to get them out of the shed. You know, if the weather's like this, there's no need to have them inside. So we get them outside, and Beth is usually around here walking every day, every half hour or so, just to keep an eye on them, make sure everyone's all right. And if there's anything lambed, she brings them in. We'll not go too close because we don't want to stir them up too much because they're all sitting quite relaxed. But just gets them outside, a bit of fresh air, and stretch the legs a bit. At this stage, they're just, you know, within the next 14 days, all these girls will have lambed. So we're looking forward to seeing them arrive.
Okay. No live births today. We did try and encourage the girls to hold on till 1 o'clock and try and push, but they're all quite quiet today. So we're just going to go around and go around to the cattle shed, show you some more cows, and then we're going to finish off with the Suffolks, who have they've already lambed, but they've been out to grass for a wee while.
Just feel free as we go. Anybody that has any questions, don't be silent, don't be frightened to ask, just type away, and we're happy to answer any questions you've got. We're quite diverse here at Springfield. I mean, the agriculture is a difficult industry. You know, everybody's got to try and make a living somehow, so we've really spread our wings a little bit just to try and make the most of what is a relatively small land parcel. We've got about 300 acres. We've got 200 commercial ewes, 30 Suffolks, 35 Simmentals, and 10 breeding Highland cows. So, you know, we're trying to make a lot of very little. So by being diverse, which is what we're having to do now, and stepping into the agri-tourism industry with the cabins, we also have Springfield Game and Country Meats, where we promote the sales of our own produce to local farmers markets. We have our own on-site wind turbines as well. As well as that, we obviously have our own agricultural enterprise, which we try to make the most of. So just to give you an idea or principle on the farm, when you're working with animals such as pedigree animals, the outputs are a lot higher. So the cost of bringing these animals up is going to be a bigger job than it is your commercial animals like we've just seen in the commercial sheep. The outputs are far higher, and the time is a lot more time than usual. You have to put a lot of time in these animals between showing, prepping, and selling. The preparation is key to having these animals look their best in the day. So this is our bunch of heifers. So some of these were born the same time as our boys next door. And again, you'll see the names. I'll start with an N. That's Northern Light. We have Nell. We have numbers because the number names are on the other side. So sometimes there's always a mistake that's made.
So why are these ones beginning with the letter N?
It's just part of the breed. It's a requirement for the British Sim Society that all these animals have to be named and registered. So they're all given passports, none with photographs, thankfully. Just names and dates of birth, mothers and fathers, all registered, so you know where the breeding lines and the family of all these animals come from. And most of these girls were born in April. We do have, this is a set of twins, that they were born in June. And we've got a couple just at the back, younger again, that were born in July. But a lot of these girls will be sold. We'll probably keep about 3 or 4. We can't keep everything. We've been really lucky in the last year or two that we've been able to start selling females. Because it's taken us so long to build up our stocks, and being a small enterprise, we're keeping all our breeding females. So it's taken us a long time to get to where we are now with the numbers that we have. But now it's there. We're starting to reap the benefits a little bit, and especially the Simmentals. We're going quite well just now, and Jabba's doing a great job for us as a father. So you move on, you'll see all the cows all happily munching. Not a better sight to see than some cows just choffing away at their haylage, enjoying themselves. Happy animal's always a full animal. This is Licorice. This is one of our favourites. I always say if she ran quick enough, she'd probably take off, but there's a lot to take off behind her.
She's got very big ears.
And if Anna shows you just now, this is one of the first Simmentals we got from Hector McCaskill, and the one at the back. They are 2 old cows, so they're about 13 years old. So they're pretty much at the end of their breeding life. They've done an amazing job, and had some great calves off them. And they've really been the backbone of our Simmental herd. These guys are all starting to come on now and establish themselves. So the weights of these cows, just to give you an idea, you could be anywhere from 800 kilos to 1,000 kilos. So 0.8 to a ton in weight. So they're big old animals. And as everybody says, and you've seen and heard stories, these animals are all very canny, but when they've got wee ones, they're very much an animal to watch, because like any other parent, they want to be protective of their calves or their children. So as you've seen recently, there's been a lot of issues with dog worrying and people not keeping their dogs in leads. That is one of the major reasons why we've got to look after the young stock. And if you don't do that, sometimes these animals react and they will look after their own. So it's paramount and really important that you keep your dogs on leads when you're out and about during the summer, because one, you do not want one of these ladies chasing you, and secondly, you don't want your dog chasing the young animals. It's not nice to see, causes a huge amount of distress, both to the animals and indeed the owners that look after them. Now here's another 2 little soldiers arriving.
Yes.
Hello boys, with our Easter Sunday eggs.
Yes. Full of chocolate.
Right?
How you getting on?
I think we're getting on fine, aren't we?
Have you got...
You got a face full of chocolate. Haven't you? You got a face full of chocolate.
So we'll go around the last bit. We'll get back to sheep. It is Lambathon after all, and we just wanted to show you as much as possible during the time that we had.
Just give them a shout.
So around this part of the farm, we're just going to call the Suffolks in. The Suffolks are really well handled sheep, and they love the sound of a feed bag. They'll come at pace when there's a sign of food. So we're just going to try and get them in so that you can see just what they're like. Fraser using his unique calling system, and actually with Fraser is Sky. Sky, the hardest working dog on the farm. She as we bought her from a neighbour when she was just a few months old, and she's done really well to learn how to work with sheep. Sometimes she would rather lick the sheep than do anything else, but she's really good.
Just to give you an idea in the sheep and the cattle world and the differences, you'll see these guys run towards you using lambs, and they were born, say, in January, and our calves are born in April. Now your weight that these animals put on, as we said, your calves that put on somewhere or can put on anywhere between 12 and 15 kilos in a week, and these lambs were weighed at 8 weeks old, and they were doing about 5 kilos a week. So there can be a difference of about 3 times between a cow's calf and a ewe's lamb.
I've just got a couple of questions, Gavin.
Uh-huh.
I'll shout out some people. David Heaps, hello from Preston, Lancashire. I think you're a top fan. Don Roble, hello. Vicky McFarlane. Eileen Kermack, hi from Leven. Mabel Lindsay, hi from Loch Lomond. Dean Caldwell, hi from Fenwick. Alan McIntosh and Arbroath. David Heaps wants to know if we have a lot of trouble with foxes.
Thankfully, we don't, David. I mean, you've really got to. The foxes usually only cause a lot of problems to the fallen stock, if there's any. But more than often, the lambs get to the size like these guys, there's very little problems. So we're fortunate that we don't have any real issues with foxes.
Okay, Hilary O'Dwyer wants to know, is it easier to wrangle twin boys or twin lambs?
I would definitely say twin lambs. Because you can literally put them out to the field, forget about them.
Carol Brown, hi, I remember you. Liz Phillips, nice arena, thank you, yes. And Ben Gibbs, hello from Islington.
So these are all the lambs. You'll see that there's a big guy in there, a set of wings on him. These guys are, as I say, they're all about 40 kilos just now. So the Suffolk breed tends to put on weight quickly, which is a good thing. And they're also really, really good milkers. So these lambs get a lot of weight on very, very quickly, which is great for the end producer. Most of these, I've said, we sell them on to other breeders. So we basically trade between breeders for females and males. And then there's a market there where we sell the males to people like yourselves to use over our commercial use, which is where the volume or the highest volume of these males go to. But everybody's happy. Again, much like the cattle, always happy when their stomachs are full. Sheep are never shy of a bag, nor is Sky. Hi, Sky. Sky, you come and say hello?
Sky's shy.
She's camera shy. Anyway, I think we're probably about our time.
One last question from Orla O'Dwyer. Would like to know why sometimes she sees lambs in a field with a blue jacket on.
Well, sometimes, Orla, lambs are like you or I, and if the weather's a little bit cold, you're going to want to put your jacket on. And sheep don't have that choice, but if anybody looking after them is doing their bit, and the lamb is a little bit frail, and they do the best things they can for these animals, and they'll give them a little jacket just to make sure they retain their heat a little bit longer, till such times as they're big enough and old enough to have their own body heat so that weather doesn't bother them, because sheep have really, really thick fleeces at a young age, and when they're a little bit weak, can be a bit more vulnerable.
Okay, I think we are just about at time. So we will just start to wrap up. And this has been a marathon of Lambathon, actually. This is day 9. And we were last to go live on Gorural's Facebook page. And what a week it's been. You've seen so much in a space of 9 days. Everywhere from Angus to Arran, Perth, and finishing up in Penicuik. Go Rural is an amazing community of people, and please go onto the website and check out what there is to offer, because farming life is an amazing life, and we'd like to share it with everybody. So thank you for watching. Have a lovely rest of Easter.
Bye.
And we'll see you soon. Bye.